Hello folks, my name's David Edgar. I'm the host of Heart and Hand, the Rangers podcast, and I'm joining you tonight live from Ibrox after Rangers defeated Alashkert 1-0 in the Europa League fourth round qualifying tie, in a game which I think a lot of Rangers fans, including myself, thought would be more straightforward, threatened to become a very tricky one after a really poor, stodgy first half display from Rangers. John Lundstram picked up a second yellow card just before the break to leave us facing a second half with 10 men. But an inspired change at half-time from the manager. He put on Scott Wright and took off the very disappointing Ryan Kent. And Rangers, with their back to the wall a wee bit in that second half, found some rhythm, found some fluency, and it was much better in the second half from what we witnessed in the first. I would say that it's probably the angriest I've ever seen the manager at a press conference afterwards when he was speaking about the first half. He was really disappointed. No wonder. Rangers, against a side that honestly weren't very good, and they had no ambition whatsoever. They just sat in, and it was up to us to break them down. And the manager was asked actually about the tactics required, and he said they know what to do to get past the low block. They just weren't really doing it tonight, unfortunately, and that was what we saw. Kent looked miles off it again. There was very little coming from any of the attacking players, and when we did get into good positions, which we did do, the pass was wrong, it was rushed, it was hurried. As for Lundstram, who was having another poor match, you have to say his first yellow card is pulling back a guy after he's lost possession to him, pulling him back. It's in our half, there's no need to do it. To then do it again for the second one. Now, I haven't seen it back, and people have said to me that it was a little bit soft. From where I was, it looked a foul and it looked a second yellow. He's going to have to start turning it on soon, John Lundstram. He's struggled since he arrived, and tonight, listening to the people around me anyway, I think he's got a long way to go to win the trust of the Rangers support. To put it mildly, he hasn't shown anything since he's been here. It's very early days, too early to write the guy off, absolutely, but we need to see something from him. And an example of what that can be is Scott Wright, who was terrific in the second half. I want to pick out a couple of other players. I thought Joe Aribo was very good. I thought Calvin Bassey, who started ahead of Borna Barisic correctly, in my, and again, from what I can gather from speaking to fans here, most people's opinion tonight, and he was very good again. But Yanis Hadji, I thought, was absolutely superb. Not only in his attacking play, where he looked the most likely to make stuff happen for us, but also he put in a real shift in that middle of the park, and he was getting involved, he was getting in tackles, and he was springing up and taking us forward. Yanis Hadji played like a leader tonight. I thought he was absolutely brilliant. But cometh the European night, cometh the Alfie. He's just remarkable. And listen, it was a superb ball from James Tavernier to put him in over the top, timed his run right, and then it was difficult because it's one of those finishes for a striker where you've got a long time to think about it. Kept his head, put it away. So 1-0 before the game, I would have said was disappointing. At half time, I would have taken it very gladly. So a weird night, really, to try and assess. I suppose it all comes down to what happens next week. Look, I still don't have any doubts Rangers will go through. They are significantly better than this side, and at home you wouldn't expect Alashkert to be able to play like that. They'll have to come out a little bit. But we know that if you don't approach it in the correct way, then you could be in trouble. Rangers have got to get this slow starting thing out of their system very quickly. The manager said it in his post-match. They've got to start showing up, some of them. Hopefully that second half, when, as I say, that their backs were to the wall a little bit, it seemed to G them up and spark them into life. But I think we saw tonight that there are a few guys in that side, Hadji, Bassey, Aribo, etc., that you can count on when the chips are down, and they delivered. So all to play for next week. I'm still very confident, but obviously I would have preferred us to win by another couple of goals. But it is what it is. Anyway, I'll talk to you again on Sunday after we take on Ross County and Dingwall. Until then, have a great weekend. Bye-bye.